Bounce back is on the menu tonight for both Houston Dynamo 2 and LAFC 2, but only one can claim it. Both units are sporting strong units tonight, so it should be a hard-fought affair for 90 minutes here on MLSNextPro.com. Welcome one and all to the broadcast. My name is Mark Schoenster, excited to be bringing you this one here this afternoon from Houston, Texas. Both of these teams coming off a loss from this past week. Dynamo Dos lost 2 straight. Most recently, a 3-1 defeat against Minnesota United at Shell Energy Stadium last Sunday. For LAFC 2, a disappointing extra time loss in the Open Cup to AV Alta. So both sides looking to get back on the win column and back into the right swing of things as we take a peek at, first off, the home side starting 11, a 4-3-3 for Marcelo Santos. 2 first-teamers out there, Michael Halliday, and more notably, Gabe Siegel, getting his first look this season with the second side. The last time these two teams played each other, Siegel had a brace, so he'll be there at the top of the formation, maybe hoping to recreate a little bit of history here in 2025, almost a whole year later. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, it'll be a first-teamer in goal for Junior Gonzalez, David Ochoa, who has loads of MLS experience on top of having 20 appearances for LAFC 2 last season. The man from Oxnard, California, will be anchoring it down there. A couple of injuries that they're gonna have to rotate through here. A lot of academy players on the bench here this evening for Coach Gonzalez. And also, they have to account for a game they're gonna play on Thursday. So, definitely gonna be relying on the likes of David Ochoa today and his leadership. On top, Jude Terry leading the league in assists coming into this weekend with 3 of them, also a first-teamer. Our officiating crew today donning the blue will be led by Matt Thompson. Once again, my name is Mark Schoenster, excited to be bringing this one for you here at SaberCat Stadium, the typical home for Houston Dynamo 2. Last week they were able to play over at the Big House Shell Energy Stadium in Houston, the home of the first team.
Houston Dynamo's head coach, Marcelo Santos.
And it'll be Dynamo Dos in the orange uniforms today. Meanwhile, it'll be the road white kits for LAFC 2. Now it's just a matter of taking the pitch, getting this one going, and seeing how these two teams respond. As I mentioned, a loss in the midweek on the road against Ventura County, and then a loss at home against Minnesota United 2 for the home side. Meanwhile, a disappointing and gut-punching loss in extra time against AV Alta in the second round of the Lamar Hunt US Open Cup in the middle of the week. For LAFC 2, they conceded oh so late in that game, went 1-1 after 90 minutes, and then in the 120th minute, right before penalties, they give away that losing goal in what was a scrappy game, to put it lightly. A couple of players taking some damage from that one, leaving this LAFC 2 team having to make some changes to the lineup. But now that is in the past for both of these teams. Windy day in Houston. And who will have it blow in their favor? Both sides trying to get back into the win column here on MLSNextPro.com. It's Houston Dynamo 2 and LAFC 2. Both sides having shown their abilities and their potency early in this season, but have also shown that they're not infallible and can be bested. "53 degrees right now in Houston. You can see the winds whipping a little bit here in the large Texas state, or large Texas city, excuse me. between Ochoa, Jude Terry, Gabe Siegel, and Michael Halliday. Oh, and also Exxon Arzu. 5 first-teamers, though Arzu been a regular so far for Dynamo 2 this season. Would make it, though, 5 MLS players donning the kits here today in this MLS Next Pro matchup. That 3-1 loss at home last week. Had the chance to talk to the head man in charge of Dynamo Dos, Marcelo Santos. And when he was giving the diagnosis of that result, and we'll hold that thought because Arzu had some steam going forward. Popped free. Eric Diaz well interjected. Diaz showing very early that he has got a ton of promise as a prospect. But in that 3-1 loss, Marcelo Santos was telling us that it's hard to put a finger on one thing, one reason why that game went the way it did. He said it was a combination of factors. The primary one being the fatigue. That had been the 3rd game in a whole week, playing against North Texas and then going to Ventura County and then playing that match. So definitely some wear and tear that they had to deal with, which was not the case with Minnesota United too. Heilich. Keep it in play. That line that's right by him is not the boundary. Of course, this pitch shared with the Houston SaberCats of rugby notoriety. But if fatigue was the main issue in that game for Houston, there are other factors as well, including they had to put some guys in new positions that they weren't as used to. And Minnesota's group, just in general, a stronger and more experienced side on the day. And Marcelo Santos said, look, it was a well-deserved result for Minnesota United too. They played well, they took advantage, and credit to them. Now it's just a matter of back on the right foot here if you're Houston. Meanwhile, for LAFC2 in that 2-1 loss to AV Alta, Junior Gonzalez, the head coach of this LAFC2 side. Some similar reasons why they felt they were not victorious in that one, but not entirely the same. They were a little light at the fullback spot in that one, so Tommy Mihailich would have to fill in that position. So, similarly, lacking some bodies, so players had to play in different spots. But through that, they're able to learn a lot as a group and learn a lot about the group. Coach Gonzalez really happy with the way they started that second half, ended up scoring that goal as well in that span of time. But then as the game wore on, he felt that they were losing who they were. Their identity started to wane as the match wore along, and then of course you go into extra time, and sometimes that can happen, especially early on in the season where you're not fully in fit shape yet. One critique he had about his team's performance, he felt they committed too many fouls, especially in dangerous spots, giving AV Alta some good set-piece opportunities. A lot to learn from a game like that, going against a independent club. Pretty energetic crowd there in the middle of the week. And you had to learn how to play for 120 minutes. Obviously here in MLS Next Pro, if a game is drawn after 90, Usually in the regular season, that would mean the game's done. They go to penalty kicks, but they do not go to extra time. Now, once it gets to the playoff season, but that's all the way in September. Then you would go that extra 30. Morelli couldn't stay on his feet there. Evans tearing it forward. Tried to roll it ahead. Both sides going up and down the pitch right now. A lot of verticality. Now it's a matter of, can you then find that horizontal pass and connect with an open man once you stretch across the field that way? I asked Marcelo Santos how it's been in training this week. So the mentality has been good. So luckily we had a good start of results to begin the year. So that made this 2-game losing skid a little bit easier to handle. Now they're adding some more pieces to the roster, some older guys. It's always hard early in the season for all these sides because you're still really, not only is the team trying to gel, but you're still collecting more pieces to put together your roster. Terry still with it. Taps it to the left-hand side. Rosenthal giving chase, floats it in. That's claimed by Pedro Cruz. Started the first 2 games this season. And then Roman Karimov stepped in these past 2 matches for Houston Dynamo too. Houston Dynamo too, able to take 2 days off after that match against Minnesota United too, and after that 3 games in 7 days stretch, Marcelo Santos said it felt like an eternity preparing for this one, and everyone felt good after having the chance to just rejuvenate a little bit. Sometimes the best thing is to not be continually pushing yourself and just have a chance to recover. Then you inject in some new blood with Michael Halliday and Gabe Siegel. Of course, neither, or at least not Siegel, is unfamiliar with Houston Dynamo too, but new for this season. For LAFC too, gonna have to do a juggling act a little bit here, which is what Houston had to do last week. Junior Gonzalez said, we're gonna need to rotate for this game, and it's gonna be a tough test. This is a good Houston side. But while also keeping that in mind, we have to account for a game against Tacoma on Thursday. So minute management going to be key. Evans, nice find to the right-hand side. Mihailich, it's knocked away from him. It's still loose. Houston able to pick it up, and Evans will be called for the foul. Good run there by the recent addition, Tommy Mihailich. Felipe Andrade over to Arzu, keeps it in bounds. 10 minutes in, both sides has taken some jabs, but neither one with a shot yet in the game, or a shot on goal, of course. Gonzalez, the March Player of the Month, wins the ball back here now. Gonzalez with the service. Arzu chasing it down, uses his physicality. Now the young Gavin Wolf rolls it forward. Siegel tapping it back. Rodriguez to Wolf. Houston opting to crack through this block and unlock the opening that they're searching for here. Rosenthal does well for LAFC too. And now here come the visitors. Jude Terry, he's dangerous with the ball at his feet. Mentioned going into this match week, leading the league with 3 assists early on in this season. 3 assists in just 2 matches. Gonzalez is feisty for that ball, but ultimately it'll be LAFC2 with possession for just a moment. Rolls out the touchline, and Houston will retain the ball. When scouting out this LAFC2 team, Marcelo Santos was telling me it's a squad with many technical players, and they've got some speed up front. He also said we have to be cognizant they can shoot from distance. Matt Evans proved that to start the season. This one will roll out wide for Arzu. Arzu tries to bend it. He's already proven he could score like that. Was searching for another one. This time couldn't quite pick out the top shelf. That was gonna need a lot of curl. With the wind gusting, that adds another element to trying to bend the ball. Moyado, that's a lovely ball through. This one saved. The boot of Cruz deflects it away. Tommy Mihailich denied here. Played short, Terry rolls it back. Service from Evans. Lovely combination, but the final touch just too mellow. Ends up being easy for Cruz after, I'm sure, some panic was starting to set in when you see a player being able to take a shot from within the 6-yard box. Really got to be careful with those attacking mids that this LAFC2 team pose. Marcelo Santos said we need to make the middle of the field a battleground. Try to force them out wide, make them predictable. Obviously easier said than done, but you do not want to let players like Jude Terry in particular have the ability to create from the center of the pitch where you have the most options. It was Brian Moyado, though, who was able to feed Mihailich, on that pass possession. And here's Terry going forward. Jude Terry Releases it to his left. Not sure if that was an intended pass or just a really heavy touch. But perhaps somewhere in the middle where he realized he wasn't going to be able to get a good touch, so he just played it out there, hopefully. Only Jude Terry will know the answer to that one for an out. Now we're going to get our first corner kick of the evening. LAFC 2. A couple of good opportunities here. I'm going to peek that corner flag. How the wind is gushing towards the goal for LAFC 2. It's partially why Exxon Arzu's shot on the other side was going to be particularly difficult because you were bending against the wind. Going to require quite a bit of whip on the ball in order to fight against that gust. Seeing Houston do some pressing defensively here. That was one of the accolades that Junior Gonzalez gave to his opposition. So they're great in their defensive structure and how they press, very organized. Mentioned just how talented this team is, especially in the middle of the pitch. That being said, Junior Gonzalez was telling me that we have a resilient group. If we're going to slow them down, we'll need to defend compactly. And then when you get the opportunity to slip by that back line, if you get past them, you need to go quickly because they are very good at tracking back efficiently. Terry, knifing it out wide. It's Terry again. Well defended by Wolf. And he continues to persist. And ultimately draws the foul on Terry, who was a little frustrated after that endeavor. Gavin Wolf, just 16 years old. Fierce in the face of the first teamer. Of course, Terry, also just 16 years old, so certainly no seniority as far as age is concerned. One last effect of this Houston team that LAFC 2 is preparing for is the fact that they do have the ability to change their shape as the game goes along. So should they make that shift, how will LAFC 2 answer and adapt? There's Leo Guitao. 20 minutes in, both sides have had some good looks. Ultimately, it's Pedro Cruz who's been asked to make the biggest save of the game thus far, denying Tommy Mihailich. Terry with a head full of steam. Always perk up wondering where he's going to go with the ball, what he's going to do with it. sides meeting yesterday between Houston and LAFC 2. Game in which was home side victorious 1-0. Goal from Jack McGlynn. Big win for Houston there. It's a big win for the city of Houston in sports recently, of course. The Cougars making it all the way to the championship game tomorrow. What a game that was against Duke yesterday night. Somehow coming back into that one. I know a lot of people are calling it a choke job from the Blue Devils, but you have to be incredibly resilient and stubborn to stick around in a game like that when it seems like it's over. But you continue to fight and push. Asked Marcelo Santos, how much buzz are the Cougars creating around the building? And he said, well, for me and the coaches, we're not really basketball fans, so we don't talk about it, but I'm sure the players have been tuning in and chatting. Ultimately, very special for the city to witness this run from Houston. Oh, a chance to take the title tomorrow against the Gators. Siegel with the shot. Ultimately, it's lackluster. Rodriguez, whether that was intended for Siegel or Exxon Arzu, at the end of it, it is a shot on target, but not the kind of shot on target you're really searching for. You want something with a little bit more zap. Some numbers here for LAFC 2. This one streaking across. Evans can't keep it in bounds. And there's that rush that LAFC 2 are emphasizing when getting behind Houston. Quickly rushing forward. No patience, no hesitation. You've got to go or else your time's going to run out quick. I mean, they're even going at full speed there. And the tracking back still looking very good for Houston Dynamo too. Even on a moment's notice. Halliday rolling it back to Barrett. DiMorelli. It'll be Mihailich giving chase. Can he keep it in bounds? He can't. And that one sputting around the 6-yard box. Evans getting a clip of it. Now, it'll be Gonzalez for a moment looking to push the tempo. Instead, though, opts to hold it up. Rodriguez, his touch just getting away from him. He had to force himself to do something with the ball because of that touch. Rolling towards Terry. Great challenge there from Leo Guitao. interjecting himself into the conversation. Certainly looks more like a three-back right now for Houston after announcing a four-back line. And our roster is given to us before the game. Just to show you that fluidity that they can play with. Got Wolf, Andrade, Daniel Barrett, seemingly anchoring themselves back there. Mihalic taps it out to the right-hand side. One-on-one with the keeper. Oh, so close. Marius Iannero couldn't quite put it on frame. Now Rosenthal tapping it back to Moyato. Nielsen playing well up the field. And it's cleared away after Evans got a piece of it. Iannero wide open. And it kisses that left post. Margins from tucking into that left side netting. And Kenny Nielsen doing what he could. A lot of juice. And a tumbling in the 18. Ref will say nothing of it. Another good chance there for LAFC2. Iannero in his second year with LAFC2 had an opportunity. Matt Evans in his third year has had a couple of chances in this one. Only like 5 new guys being added to the roster this season for LAFC2. So that's 5 out of roughly 30 guys who are all going to be available for selection most weeks for Junior Gonzalez, and all of those players have experience playing at this level, including the academy players. Junior Gonzalez says it's pretty great, honestly, to have that consistency. For many of these academy homegrown guys, it's just about execution at a higher rate because they already know what they need to do. They understand the principles. They've been taught it for years now. Now it's just about, can you make those decisions? Can you execute on those things a little faster now? The speed of the game takes another tempo up. Arzu to Gonzalez. You gotta drive it up another notch in order to play at the MLS Next Pro level. And then once you accomplish that, then you want to dial it up another notch or two to prove then that you're ready to play at the MLS level. That's what so much of this is being able to sharpen the blade that much more. Now when you bring in a player from elsewhere, maybe you're forging the blade a little bit, but these players who have been in the system for years, they know what they need to do. They understand the ideas. It's just about being not effective of a weapon. Andrade. Down the pitch it goes. Halliday juggling to keep it in play, but then with a shove, gives the ball back to LAFC2. press from Houston Dynamo, but they lose possession quickly. Moyato rolls it to Terry. Terry out to Rosenthal. Charlie Rosenthal switches the point of attack. Evans, a one-timer. Lost its punch in the process. Diego Gonzalez drawing some contact, showing how apt he can be with the ball at his feet. Mentioned earlier, was the winner of the first Player of the Month award in MLS Next Pro. Gonzalez able to rack in 2 goals and 2 assists in 4 matches. Earning him that distinct honor. Gonzalez, a player, has a lot of quality and possesses the ability to make plays. Had a chance to talk about him with Marcelo Santos, and that's what he had to say. The unfortunate thing for Diego Gonzalez is at this point in time, the players above him in the pecking order Houston Dynamo are your designated players, so the real stars of the first team side. Terry, driven inside. Ianero looked to be returned to him, but Houston had other ideas. So it's hard for Gonzalez to break into that first team due to the guys up ahead of him. Being real bona fide talents. But with that being said, Marcelo Santos told me the picture can change at any moment. Not too many things in professional sports are always a given. Rosenthal. Visitors, as this game has worn on, have been more and more the promising unit. How about that ball from Moyato? Doesn't quite connect with Mihailich, but at the outside of his boot. Certainly like the gumption and the willingness to try something like that from the 19-year-old. And it wasn't too far off. It's the kind of inventiveness that we're searching for. So much of being a player on the attack is being creative. Other sports can be a little bit more aggregated in how you attack and score points. Evans rolls it out to his right. Mihailich back across the center. It deflected to Terry. Now it's Evans again. Mihailich. We'll have to start from square run here. Moyato. That one looked like a glance off a hand, but the player stopped playing as they appealed for it. Sure, you'd love to try to game the official, but you gotta make sure if you don't hear a whistle that you play on. Luckily for LAFC too, that wasn't to the detriment of possession. Adrian Sanders, the 16-year-old academy kid, handling the press there well. That's a good touch. Ball ripped it centrally. Second effort. It's beyond the reach of Evans. Another good chance goes to the wayside for LAFC 2. A lot of pace on that cross. You have to think if Iron Arrow can even just connect on it, it's going to be tough to stop as long as it's on frame. All he has to do is redirect. Doesn't need to get a ton of pace on it himself because it's already coming at him with such pace. LAFC 2 really starting to apply the pressure now. They've got Houston situated deep in their own territory. But they're not uncomfortable in this position, Houston, and they can spring in the other direction, excuse me. Some quickness. Evans goes for it himself. Wasn't the cleanest of coverage from Pedro Cruz. They don't ask how. They just ask how many saves and how many goals are scored. And after that transpired, he'll still be able to say 0 on the score sheet. We're a couple games into the season. Players start to show themselves and develop their voice, and you learn who are the role leaders in a group. That one without harm, but it will be a corner kick opportunity. First one of the match for Houston Dynamo 2. Taken from the right corner flag. Once again, the wind blowing away from goal, something to account for when you're giving the service here. Might be able to cheat your cross a little bit closer to the goalkeeper than usual. Still in the box, not far off target. A couple of stabs are taken. Matteo Di Morelli trying to protect his defensive third. LAFC win it back. I was saying earlier, leaders on a team start to show themselves now that you get a couple of games into the season. Junior Gonzalez saying that some of those players, many of them are on the bench to start this one. Cabral Carter, for sure, he said. Kenny Nielsen, who is in the starting 11. Sebastian Nava, who's on the bench. Adrian Waboa, who's not in the 18 today. And then Tommy Mihajlic even though he's only been here a short time, has shown that he's a leader. Mentioned a lot of those guys having played at the college level, good college programs like Indiana and Portland, which is where Nava and Mihailich are from. They create disciplined players. Terry takes the shot. It spills out. But it's a good redirection from Cruz. Now the whistle blows. It'll be in favor of Houston Dynamo too. They had possession, but advantage not being played, and now Pedro Cruz down on the ground, or at least squatting on the ground. Now the trainers will be waved on to give him a look at. The 21-year-old Brazilian getting his third start of the season. His first year in MLS Next Pro, or in the U.S. in general. So while he's getting checked on, look to see if we can get a look at what it is that took place, what happened to him. So let's take a look at the goalkeeper. Terry takes the shot. Maybe fell awkwardly into his left arm. Gets right back up on his feet, but then perhaps then the damage starts to settle in. That initial rush and urgency rolls away. He's back up on his feet, which is good. As I was saying before that injury, good college programs such as Indiana University, Portland, to create disciplined players, and that's going to produce good leaders pretty consistently. So Gonzalez not too surprised by the names that are stepping up and showing themselves, and perhaps they think there's one or two other guys who could still get out of their shell and end up being voices on the side. Some pressure here. Contact from Siegel. Knocking over David Ochoa. Hasn't needed to make any serious saves in this game. This might be, honestly, the most important thing he's done in the match. Just get himself between the ball and Gabe Siegel, who is storming in from behind.
May I have your attention, please? The fourth official silent has indicated there will be a minute.
So, been a pretty smooth stretch of play here in the first half, so accordingly, just one more minute tacked on ultimately. Really just Pedro Cruz going down. That was the only stoppage in this match. Not too many other stoppages were needed throughout, so maybe just one more moment that's available for one of these teams to take, if they can take it. If not, it'll just be the ball getting exchanged around the middle of the pitch, and we'll go into the break harmlessly. Beats out. Spins it up for Siegel to track down. Booted back into the middle of the pitch. Whistles out. And nothing to separate these two after 45 minutes. LAFC 2 may have asked more questions, but Pedro Cruz was up for every challenge that came his way thus far, which means it is 0-0 after 45 minutes. As we go to break, we'll take another sneak peek of our all-access piece on the 2024 MLS Next Pro Cup Final out now. Let's go check it out now.
Welcome to the 2024 MLS Next Pro Pick Your Opponent, or PYO as the kids are calling it. To be able to pick your opponent, if you finish at the top of your conference, you should have that right. And we're giving those teams here that exactly. We now turn the page to Philadelphia Union 2. Who is going to be your selection?
We wanted to pick someone that our fans love to hate and could get behind the game, but unfortunately Red Bull wasn't available for this call, so we went with New York City FC.
The #1 overall seed North Texas would surprise us by not selecting a conventional pick.
Vancouver has been a very good season. They play really well, but we want to try ourselves.
It is time to kick off the 2024 MLS Next Pro playoffs. We start today with the conference quarterfinals in the Eastern Conference.
We welcome you to the Western Conference playoffs in MLS Next Pro.
The Eastern Conference quarterfinals continue.
The stage is set for the postseason. A terrific matchup on hand today.
Such a fun format that MLS Next Pro playoffs have in function, so be sure to check those out. We'll be able to review what happened in this game later in halftime, but first, we have lots to catch up on, so let's do that in this week's report.
To Medina. Wow! What a banger! Barzu to his right. Right banded. Oh my, what a thing of beauty! Down for Neri! Rodrigo Neri with the brace!
Welcome to this edition of The Report. I'm April Marie Aguilar, coming to you from Chattanooga, Tennessee, where history was made. For the first time ever, two crosstown rivals, Chattanooga FC and the Chattanooga Red Wolves, went head-to-head in the second round of the 2025 U.S. Open Cup. It was a game full of drama and intensity. The first half saw each team score a golazo. From there, it went scoreless through the second half and extra time. The Red Wolves ultimately won it 5-4 on PKs. And although the boys in blue came up just short, it doesn't take away from an incredible, electrifying atmosphere. 12,131 in attendance, the fourth largest crowd in Chattanooga FC history, and the second largest crowd to watch a U.S. Open Cup second round match. And as MLS Next Pro president Charles Alchek told us, it's a kind of experience MLS Next Pro clubs can learn from.
When we were designing the plan for MLS Next Pro, nights like tonight, games like this, rivalry games, local derbies, this is part of our vision. And having our Next Pro teams competing in the U.S. Open Cup is such an important part of that. And I think what's happening here tonight is another example. You know, these players, this game means a lot to these players, means a lot to the fans, to the coaching staff, and to everybody in this community.
And here's how much it means. The players showing their appreciation for the crowd after a match that will be talked about for a long time. March was a busy month in MLS Next Pro with heavy rotations, flex schedules, and clubs having to play more matches than normal due to the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. But one constant, the play from St. Louis City 2, named MLS Next Pro's Team of the Month. City 2 started off by beating defending champion North Texas on the road, followed by back-to-back wins over Sporting KC2, and capping off the month with a shootout win over Austin FC2. They set a new club record by going unbeaten in their first 4 games to start the season.
collected 11 points out of 12 that's been up for grabs. We've kept clean sheets in every single game so far. We've had several academy guys come into the team, make some starts, get a lot of minutes, and we're really starting to execute the identity that we want to play in. So I've been very happy with March so far. I think being consistent is very, very important. So we want to consistently keep clean sheets. We want to be very good defensively, but for us, just as we grow, we want to be sharper in front of goal. We're creating a lot of good opportunities inside the box, and we're scoring some goals, but we want to continue to build on that and keep putting the ball in the back of the net, scoring goals, and picking up points along the way.
Last year, St. Louis City 2 got off to a slow start and ended up making the Western Conference Final. But this year, they went unbeaten in March and didn't allow a single goal. We'll see if they've put themselves in better shape for the rest of the season. Meanwhile, Diego Gonzalez has been named Player of the Month. Gonzalez scored 2 goals and had 2 assists as Houston Dynamo 2 placed second in the Western Conference at the end of March. Gonzalez also saw time with the first team scoring a goal in a win over El Salvador. Here's his coach, Marcelo Santos.
Diego has a lot of qualities, and he's a very important player for this team. We have a young team. So it's not just the ability for him to make plays and impact the game, but he's also a leader on the team, and it's well deserved, and we're thrilled for him to win this award.
As for the other monthly award winners, we told you how dominant St. Louis City 2 was in March, so it's no surprise that David Critchley has been named Coach of the Month and Colin Welsh is Goaltender of the Month. Yuval Cohen of Inter Miami CF2 is a Rising Star of the Month. He had a brace in a win over Columbus Crew 2. MLS Next Pro is all about the pathway to pro, and as we saw in March, it didn't take long for some MLS Next Pro alumni to make a major impact in Major League Soccer this season. Former MVP Jason Russell Rowe has started every game for Columbus Crew since the season opener, scoring in each of their first 2 games, including the deciding goal in a 1-0 win over New England Revolution. Russell Rowe is already on pace to surpass his MLS career high of 5 goals in a season, set last year. After making 3 appearances for Orlando City SC over the last 2 seasons, Alex Freeman has started all 5 of their games in March, scoring his first 2 MLS goals against Toronto FC and DC United. Freeman also assisted on Orlando's first goal in the win over DC. Antony Oluwaseyi continues to raise his stock with Minnesota United FC. On March 15th, he recorded his first brace in Major League Soccer in a draw against Sporting Kansas City. He became the first Minnesota player to be named MLS Player of the Match Day since 2023. To keep tabs on these and the 160 plus other players who have taken alumni status, go to the all-new alumni page on MLSNextPro.com, where you can check out the latest signings and what former MLS Next Pro players are up to in MLS and around the world.
And one day he's receiving the ball, will you follow him or he'll recover the ball? You understand? But guys, this is the final. You're not playing the final. We play just a normal game. You wanna win this game? Yeah. You wanna win this game? Yeah.
And you can check out the full documentary All Access: The Road to MLS Next Pro Cup now on MLSNextPro.com and the MLS Next Pro YouTube page. What's a monthly wrap-up without some on-field action? Well, we saw this golazo on the first day of this season by Osase de Rosario against Ventura County FC.
Cross whipped in and banked into the goal. In a flash, Tacoma Defiance have tacked on a second.
And that was one of many great goals in the month of March. Here are some more while I enjoy this delicious plate of tailgate food.
Panamanian side for the Panamanian center back. Here they come on the offensive edge. Shot rocketed towards goal. And LAFC 2 are on the board. Matthew Evans with a ripping strike. Cuts in, gets his left boot on it, and picks out the far post.
In the 19th minute, ball is struck and in! An absolute beauty from Alex Moreno. And Portland is on the board in their season opener. Alex Moreno with an absolute beauty. No one is stopping that. Hashtag bar down. Now Kidd to McKenna. Wow! What a banger! Gabriel McKenna with a masterful shot. And St. Louis goes up by 2. Out of nothing. Gabriel McKenna picks his head up and blasts one top corner.
It's Bassett to take, and what a strike it is! A stunner from Sam Bassett, and it's 1-0 Colorado. Sensational. Nestling in the top corner, no chance for Alfin, and against the grain, Rapids 2 leads.
What can Philadelphia muster up as Pariano and Sullivan stand over it? Evan Sullivan works on 5. Sullivan!
Kevin Sullivan off of the set piece, breaks through the barrier, and gives the first goal to Philly Union of the 2025 season. Breakthrough gun of New England gets behind Stokes of the Red Bulls.
We want to remind you that MLS Next Pro will once again be featured at the GA Cup in Florida this year. Orlando City B and Inter Miami 2 will go toe-to-toe in front of many of the future MLS Next Pro stars. Tune in on Tuesday, April 15th at 7 p.m. Eastern on MLS Season Pass. Well, that does it for this edition of The Report. Be sure to tune in to the next episode for the latest around MLS Next Pro. For now, I'm April Marie Aguilar. We'll see you next time.
As we welcome you back here to SaberCat Stadium, still locked at 0-0 between Houston Dynamo 2 and Los Angeles Football Club 2. Let's take a peek at the highlights. Although it's scoreless, it was not without some drama. Exxon Arzu, you just saw the goal he scored earlier in the season. He's trying to recreate it there, but a little gust of wind, making it a bit harder to do so. Pedro Cruz may have been the most valuable player for either side through the first 45 minutes, making a couple of great stops. And on the other end, Dynamo 2, this being their lone shot on target in the game. So they'll be looking to find some more venom offensively, as it was Pedro Cruz who was asked more of between the two goalkeepers. But ultimately, even if it was more chances for LAFC2, the most important stat line is the 0-0 scoreline up top. But here are the numbers as they sit, all favoring the visitors. Houston Dynamo 2 will be looking to generate more chances, hold more possession in that attacking third. See if they can break the door down or if the trend will continue. It's going to be LAFC2 that are going to be getting on the board here in this game, if anybody. But of course, that's the first 45. The second 45 could paint a very different picture as we take a look at what's coming up next week in MLS Next Pro. A lot of great games on the docket. LAFC2, they'll play on Thursday against Tacoma. It won't be a hot minute until the next time Houston Dynamo 2 play, not until April 23rd on the road against Vancouver Whitecaps 2. So for you fans of Dynamo Dos, here is an allotment of matches that you could choose from in this next week to tune into as a third-party enjoyer. Maybe you tune in to, well, actually, Vancouver's not even on here, so you can't even start scouting out your next opponent yet. So you really will just be a third-party enjoyer if you decide to tune into any of these games. but I would recommend you will do that. So there will be a substitution for Junior Gonzalez. Minute management, oh so important. And that is going to be a very key change here. Jude Terry, who's been so involved throughout this season and throughout this game. He's going to be subbed out for Gavin Zambrano, making his debut this season. The Academy kid subbing in. So Zambrano on, Terry out. Let's see what this second half has in store for us. It was a first half that leaned in favor of LAFC2, but they don't have the score to back it. Houston could change the tenor quickly here. But instead, it's David Ochoa who claims that service. We saw acknowledgement of the accomplishment from Diego Gonzalez, winning Player of the Month. Not the only one who has had some honors go in his direction. As Andrade whips that ball across, headed in centrally. Ochoa handles it.
Have your attention, please. At the beginning of the second half, substitution in Los Angeles LAFC 2. Midfield, number 56, Jude Terry. Coming into the field, number 48, Kevin Zambrano.
So it was, as I was saying, other players making some good strides. Andy Batioja, along with Pedro Cruz, getting called up to the first team for last Sunday's game against Portland Timbers at the MLS level. Batioja making his MLS debut with the first team. Also getting some frequent looks with the U20 Colombian national team. It's the second call-up of the season for Batioja, and the first for Pedro Cruz, who now is back in the starting lineup here this evening. Had to make 5 saves in the first half. Varying in level of difficulty, but all the same, you have to get the job done. Coming into this game, saving at an 83% clip. Currently very much helping those numbers thus far in this affair. Still searching for that first clean sheet. Of course, Ochoa in the same boat, but of not having played a match yet this season. Of course he hasn't yet had a clean sheet. For those just now tuning in, a windy day in Houston. In the lower 50s. So some long sleeves being sported for both sides. Not too much longer that I'll be able to do that here in Houston. Unless, of course, you're making the strategic decision to avoid sunburn and wear long sleeves. Outside of that, you're subjecting yourself to more warmth than you'd already like to have. Texas summer heat just around the corner. So Andrade was able to get a touch there to knock it out of play. And now a yellow card being issued.
May I have your attention, please? Yellow card caution has been issued at the 49th minute to number 3. That was Felipe Andrade.
So Felipe Andrade with his second yellow card of the season. Our first booking of the afternoon, excuse me, not afternoon, of the evening. Derek Jones Jr. Some strides, rolls it inside. Right back out by Zambrano. Tommy Mihailich was busy in that first half. Gets the deflection from Gavin Wolf. It'll be a throw-in for LAFC 2. Both sides looking to find a victory after both suffered a loss in their last outing. An extra time loss to AV Alta for LAFC 2 last time out. Junior Gonzalez, the head coach, talking about that game, he said, ultimately I'm not as disappointed in the result and performance itself. It was always going to be hard with some guys on minute restrictions. AV Alta has a team full of older vets, some of which with national team experience. What he was more disappointed in is the fact that they won't get more of those kinds of matches against those type of opponents going ahead. MLS Next Pro, chock full of youth talent. So many young players with such high ceilings. Service sent inside. Poked away. LAFC 2 avoid danger. You don't get as many opportunities, though, to play against those bigger players, more physical opponents that you can get when you play against some of these other sides that, well, these independent clubs and boast older rosters. Those rosters' objectives are not focused on the developmental side as much, and thus offers a different challenge and, in a way, tests different edges of your game. Siegel with a turn, lets it fly. But it did too much flying there, goes over the crossbar. Arzu does well there, but Derek Jones Jr. interjects right when he needed to. Matteo Di Morelli trying to get on the end of that ball, spun by Siegel. Barrett wide to Halliday. Di Morelli, a lot of white jerseys around, they're able to get it free. Halliday rolls it up ahead, tracking this one down is Rodriguez. Rolling pass inside, and the follow through parried over. The late run struck against goal, but David Ochoa gets both hands behind it. Into the screen at the last second. Exxon Arzu A lot of heat behind that shot. Ultimately placed near the hands. Another shot screens wide. Positive start here in the second half for Houston. Play will go on here. LAFC 2 with Rosenthal on the ball. Rosenthal back across. Mihajlic off target. A counterattack opportunity for LAFC 2. Tommy Mihajlic looking for his first Next Pro goal. Scored in the Open Cup for this side. So that being his official first goal as a professional, of course, though the Open Cup competition open to everybody, so not a professional league. The way he's been playing in this game, he's sure to get a couple goals this season as the year goes along and he continues to generate chances the way that he has in this affair. Barrett taps it ahead. Andrade was swarmed. Jones up to Rosenthal. Can he get to it? Barrett does well to escort it out of bounds. Marcelo Santos will be pleased with that, and he's been pleased with working in this Houston Dynamo organization so far. Ben Olsen has been great to work with, the head coach of the first team. During the interview process, Marcelo Santos was really impressed with the organization. He said there's so many good people here in the building. And when it comes to talking to Olsen and his staff, the communication has been excellent. They talk more than once daily. He said the way that we operate here should be the blueprint across the country. I think that's a sentiment that Junior Gonzalez holds for the LAFC 2 organization. So it's two places that are doing it right. Service trickles through, and it's put over the crossbar. Leo Guitao looking for his first professional goal. It just pops off his boot. Disappointing for the youngster. A prime opportunity. Bit of a bind there for Ochoa. Was able to get out of it and heave aside. Zambrano moving forward. Out wide to Mihajlic. And that's just off target for Evans. Lofted ball from Barrett doesn't reach its intended target. And now it's Mihajlic down the right touchline. Adrian Sanders has had to pick up center back duty today. Just 16 years old, his first start this year. A couple players missing. Pass the academy kid to step up into the role. Next man up mentality. Zambrano to Jones. Rosenthal back to Derek Jones Jr. Moyado couldn't get that one through the two defenders. That's a good find to the captain. Gonzalez searching ball for Halliday. Just beyond his ability to rein it in. "60 minutes through this one, still nothing separating these two sides. And now some changes readying themselves for the home team. So it'll be Noah Betancourt subbing in for Leo Guitao. Had a prime opportunity just moments ago. Meanwhile, it'll be a 15-year-old for a 15-year-old. Matteo Di Morelli subs out, and Lucas Brugman will sub in.
Leaving the field, number 44. And then Guitao coming into the field, number 36.
First changes to the lineup for Marcelo Santos.
33. Matteo Morelli coming into the field, number 32, Lucas Brugman.
Zambrano with a spin. Moyado plays it out to his right. Moyado trying to feed that one through. LAFC 2 just haven't been able to crack it open here in the second half. So before play resumes, now we're going to get 3 changes for Junior Gonzalez. Kenny Nielsen will sub out, and the academy kid Dempsey Resic will step in. And then the goal scorer from that Open Cup game, DeCarlo Guerra, will sub in for Brian Moyado. So Guerra having a little more offensive bite. And then lastly, and maybe most importantly, Sebastian Nava subs into the game for Ionero. Sebastian Nava, who has been an eye-opener early on in this season. The big thing that stuck out to me immediately this season is Nava is just a workhorse. He runs all over the place. He does not stop, and that's going to be interesting to see how that translates in an off-the-bench position, as he's been mainly starting this year. Talking about Nava, we'll hold that thought for a moment. Sebastian Nava, a player that Junior Gonzalez said he's a competitor, and although he does work hard, his soccer IQ is also really high, so he puts himself into good spots on top of being a good hustler. Sometimes you can get players who run all over the field, and sometimes it's because they got to make up for ground that they could have gained if they had a smarter approach, but that's not the case with Nava. He combines those two things together oh so nicely. So a player who reads the game and is willing to run on some burn and use some gas. Not just some, use a lot of gas. And now that he'll be subbing into this game against legs that have been playing through this match, at least the majority of them have, might be able to do some damage. Zambrano Out wide to Rosenthal. And Halliday gets there a fraction sooner, but his only option is to kick it out of play. Resic rolls it back. Zambrano. That's it. Deflected out of play. Back heel finds Nava. Derek Jones now on the right-hand side. Put some pace behind that one. Now it's Mihalic. And a free kick incoming, a yellow card issued to Gavin Wolf. Now both center backs for Houston Dynamo 2 sitting on a yellow card.
The 66th minute, yellow card caution has been issued to number 20 for Houston Dynamo. Those get moved.
Yeah, just grabs him on the collarbone and slings him down. Effectively a corner kick here for LAFC 2. Worth re-acknowledging the wind blowing away from goal. Falls down, Resic got a piece of it, couldn't put it in the right direction. Perhaps a counterattack opportunity for Dynamo Dos. Wasn't to be. Carlo Guerra holding things up on the back end. Practice patience. Next on Arzu. Shrugging off some contact. Arzu couldn't get by the second defender. Now Siegel has it stripped away from him by Derek Jones Jr. 0-0 after 67 minutes. Both sides have had some opportunities. Accounting for the first and a bulk of this second half here. A pretty evenly fought matchup. Still a light edge in shots on target for LAFC 2, but it's been Houston Dynamo 2 here in the second half that have been doing more of the prodding. Halliday takes a bump, won't be enough. This will be the only meeting between these two sides this season, in the regular season at least. There's always potential for a postseason clash, but as far as what is scheduled, and won't play again this year, it's the fifth matchup all time. Houston leading the series 2-1-1, and in that one draw, Houston won in penalties. So just one victory for LAFC 2 throughout this head-to-head. When they met in July last year, the last time they met, it was a 2-1 victory for Houston, a game in which Gabe Siegel had a brace. Guerra rolls it forward. Zambrano ships it to Rosenthal. Charlie Rosenthal, cross center, no one to receive it, but his efforts result in a corner kick. Headed across the byline. LAFC 2 trying to grow back into this one. They want to claim some momentum in their favor now. Guide ball. Headed to the right, chested down. Zambrano. Another service, cleared away. Now more properly booted here. Arzu got a touch on it. But Adrian Sanders at the end of things will like the way that one ended. Resic hits the brakes. Adrian Sanders, who was one-on-one there with the ball up in the air against Exxon Arzu. He's paired up with the other center back, Eric Diaz, the 19-year-old Panamanian, a player that Junior Gonzalez is very high on. He thinks he can definitely make that jump. That jump being, of course, going up to the next level. Here he is on the ball now. A lot of quality to his game. Not just has to get acclimated here at this level. But certainly, Gonzalez and his staff see a high ceiling for the kid. Currently on loan from Tauro FC, the Panamanian professional club. Guerra, that one rolls away from him. At least rolls away from his intended target, I should say. Momentum swaying once again in LAFC2's favor. Under 20 minutes to go in this one. Still no breakthrough. But there might be one here. Careless giveaway. And Houston Dynamo 2 punish the mistake. And who else than the skipper, Diego Gonzalez, pushing it by the keeper. Some pressure from Siegel. Must not have seen Gonzalez there in the center, was looking for Guerra. And in a game that's been played so carefully, both sides moving the ball up and down the pitch, carefully testing the goalkeeper. Not a match with too many glaring mistakes, but that one sticks out like a sore thumb. David Ochoa looking for his holding midfielder and instead finds the leading goal scorer for Houston Dynamo 2 this season. Diego Gonzalez, the captain, pushing it home. So after that goal has been scored, a change personnel-wise, which was planned prior to the goal being scored for LAFC2. Cairo Walters subbing into the game for Charlie Rosenthal. And then Eric Diaz taking one to the ankle there. Sliding challenge from behind. I'll do some damage.
Number 36 from Houston Dynamo, Noah Benton.
So, two changes for the home side now that they have the lead. Gavin Wolf, who's on a yellow card, will sub out. And in comes Micah Harris, who started the first 3 games this season. Well, started 3 of them, I should say, not the first 3, but 3 of the matches. And then Steven Anor Jemfi also subbing in for Gabe Siegel. His pressure forcing the mistake from David Ochoa. He won't get an assist for that, of course, but He had a major part in the mistake being made. And it's one first-teamer out for another first-teamer. The number 9 will apply some pressure with his fresh legs. That sliding challenge earlier by Noah Betancourt, getting him his second yellow card of the season. A couple of yellow cards being issued out here. Rodriguez also given one, but another attack for Houston Dynamo too. Show is ready for that one. Sebastian Rodriguez with his second yellow card of the season.
Sebastian Rodriguez.
How will LAFC2 answer now? Coughing up the ball in a dangerous spot. Houston Dynamo 2. We're ready for it. There's that other substitution that took place after the goal. Rolling pass inside. Bresic trying to create something, looking for an answer. Well done by Diaz. So the question now for Houston in a game that's been so evenly fought up to this point, you get the lead. Do you want to just hang on tight for another 15 minutes where you're still looking to be aggressive? It's just a 1-goal difference. LAFC has proven in spurts that they can be dangerous. And if you concede a goal now, then all the momentum is in favor of the visitors. So I don't think you want to start parking the bus just yet. Some of these changes from Marcelo Santos would suggest that they aren't looking to get conservative yet. But you do want to keep your eyes peeled because now LAFC2 have to be more aggressive, which is inevitably going to open up some more room behind them. A set piece incoming for LAFC2 here from the left flag. That is an interesting decision from our head official, because you wonder, could there not have been a counterattack opportunity there for Houston Dynamo too? And instead, play halted dead in its tracks. Ultimately, either way, it works to the benefit of Houston though, because that kills a little more time off the clock as you roll the ball back for a reset. But again, there's still over 10 minutes left in this match. I don't think you're at that time-wasting portion of the game yet. Gonzalez, the goal scorer, slips but gets back up on his feet. Oh, that's gotta hurt. Already a wipeout and then a head to the boards. Derek Jones Jr., not a comfortable fall. Back on its feet, battling with the very physical Exxon Arzu. No pressure on Ochoa here. He'll play it to Diaz. Looking for that slipping ball through for a Nor Gemfi. FC2 not gonna let up easily. Nava from the right-hand side. Sebastian Nava across goal, but behind any potential target. Now time starting to become of the essence for LAFC2. Lovely ball forward for Walters. Cairo Walters. That's a dangerous ball in the center. Guerra to his right. Evans taps it out to Nava. The service! Ball still in play. Everyone ball watching. Ball's back to Evans. That was a light ball through to split the defenders, but Zambrano couldn't bring it in. Guerra tangled up there by Rodriguez. Sprayed out to his right-hand side. Derek Jones Jr. Nava plays it in for Evans. We might need a rocket from Evans again in this game. Scored a beautiful one that we revisited at halftime. One of the best goals in the month of March. Tapped in by Derek Jones Jr. Nava returns the favor. Sebastian Nava still going. Taps it to his left. LAFC2 trying to crack the code. Zambrano couldn't get it out wide. Guerra dancing around a couple bodies. Nava once more. They'll try to cut through the defenders. Not Evans. Now it's Jones Jr. Service inside, knocked away. Houston not keen to push the tempo in the other direction, but they lose possession anyway. Zambrano now. Send it over to Resic. Time in the attacking third piling on here for LAFC 2. But can they find an answer? Evans over top. In a game that's been so evenly fought, it's a significant error that separates the two teams. And now it's up to LAFC 2 to find a goal that neither side have been able to really connect and find in this attacking third in their own devices, at least in possession. You can credit the pressure to force the mistake from David Ochoa on the other end, but it was certainly not in possession that Houston got a goal in this game. Nava rolling it to Jones. Derek Jones Jr. Touch is getting a little heavy there as he turned up the jets. Arzu lost his footing, tried to get right back up. Nava is there to backtrack and collect it for LAFC 2. Walters. This one bouncing across behind Evans. Check that. Yeah, I was looking for the highlight. Ball, well, it was in play, and then it finally rolls out. Before they throw it back in, a substitution. Exonarzu, who's been putting in a lot of burn in this game, will finally see his way off. The Venezuelan Enrique Correa will sub in for him. Academy kid getting some more minutes here. Resic on the same page with Walters. And now here's Steven Anor. Anor down the right-hand side. Anor cuts in, still dancing with the ball. It's poked away. Was looking for a finishing blow there. LAFC 2 once again on the attack. Resic. Back to that center back pairing. Wonder to see how much further they're going to cheat up ahead. Jones drilling it inside. A much needed step there from Andrade. Diaz rolling it down the center. Tats back. Guerra couldn't get to it. Resic puts it in the air. Nava tapping it. Evans, it bounces towards goal. And after it pops out of the hands of Pedro Cruz, he falls on top of it. Some dangerous moments but still not testing the Brazilian goalkeeper, at least not truly. They may not have too many chances left. Jones rolls it up ahead. That's a good turn. Walters. Evans has to trace this one. And now Honor trying to send it in the other direction. Guerra to Nava. Brugman able to get it to Honor. There's going to be 3 more minutes tacked on here. Guerra. Mihalic gives chase. Could be a counterattack chance for Houston Dynamo too. Diaz does what he can to get that ball away. Nicely done by Evans. Guerra sends it ahead. No one can get to it. Pedro Cruz making that a little bit more nervy than initially anticipated. Some slippage on the grass. Wasn't able to claim it as soon as he would have hoped. That looked like it came off the outside of his boot. Up ahead again for Resic. He can let it bounce out for a throw. Well interjected there by Brugman. Halfway through the added time. Gonzalez has it knocked free, but Brugman's there to back him up. Although there's nobody there in particular for Houston Dynamo 2, there's no one there for LAFC 2 as well, which means precious seconds wind away. Nava falls in for Sembrano. Under a minute to go. Resic over in the left corner. Trying to see if he can turn around Brugman. And he loses his balance. And a free kick here for LAFC 2. Maybe the last chance and a final stand for Houston Dynamo 2. White jerseys load into the box. Certainly too much contact there. Diego Gonzalez knocked over. And a yellow card for Derek Jones Jr. Won't even acknowledge the booking. His second of the season, and that may just be it. It's kind of shocked to not see David Ochoa make his way up the pitch to try to have a go there on the free kick.
Yellow card caution has been issued to LAFC number 32. There.
And that'll do it here from SaberCat Stadium. A very even match between Houston Dynamo 2 and LAFC 2. And ultimately, it was a game where both sides waited for who would make the mistake. And Houston Dynamo 2 were patient. And when the opportunity arose, they were punishing. 1-0, your final scoreline in this one. Let's take a look at our man of the match, and it's got to be the goal scorer, the captain. Already won the March Player of the Month. Diego Gonzalez trying to build his resume for back-to-back Player of the Months here with a goal in his first game in April. The ball came to him, pressure from him and Siegel, forced the error, and he put it away nicely. So Marcelo Santos and Houston Dynamo 2 advance to 3-2 on the season. They've got a long break before They play at Vancouver on April 23rd. It's a quick turnaround for Junior Gonzalez's side. They play on Thursday against Tacoma Defiance. For our entire MLS Next Pro broadcast crew, I'm Mark Schoenster. Once again, our final score 1-0 in favor of Houston Dynamo 2. Don't forget, you can watch MLS Next Pro all season long at MLS Season Pass on Apple TV and MLSNextPro.com. Have a good night, everybody.
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.